My cousin treated everyone like garbage and started shaming our family for being poor because she has a sugar daddy. Now she's begging me for help because her sugar daddy went back to his real family. My cousin Natalie started dating a married man named Joseph 6 months ago and wouldn't shut up about it at every family gathering. She'd show up to Sunday dinners wearing new designer bags and jewelry, making sure everyone noticed. She'd interrupt conversations to mention the trips to Vegas and Miami, the shopping sprees at Saks, the 5-star restaurants where they'd drop $2,000 on wine. She actually told my teenage daughter that college was pointless when you could just find a rich man to take care of you. At Thanksgiving, she announced to the whole table that we were all stupid for working regular jobs when men were willing to pay just to have dinner with someone pretty. She looked right at me when she said it, knowing I'd been working 2 jobs since my husband left. She called my teacher's salary pathetic, said my apartment was depressing, told me I was aging myself by not getting Botox, and that's why I was alone. My aunt tried to change the subject, but Natalie kept going. She pulled out her phone to show us the penthouse apartment Joseph was renting for her, the Mercedes he leased in her name, the credit card with a $20,000 limit. She said we were all jealous and small-minded for judging her lifestyle, that she was living her best life while we were all stuck being wage slaves. For months we had to listen to this. Every birthday, every holiday, every family barbecue became Natalie's personal show about how much better she was than everyone else. She'd criticize my sister's wedding for being too cheap, mock my brother for driving a 10-year-old truck, tell our grandmother that her house needs updating, and Joseph could probably buy it for cash if she wanted to sell. She started missing family events unless Joseph was out of town, saying we were boring and she had better places to be. The worst part was how she treated service workers when we went out, snapping at waitresses, demanding special treatment, leaving insulting tips because Joseph usually handled that. She'd become a completely different person, nasty and entitled and cruel. Then last Tuesday happened. Natalie was supposed to be at a spa resort with Joseph, but apparently his wife Caroline had started getting suspicious. She'd hired a private investigator weeks ago who'd been following them. Caroline had photos, receipts, text messages, everything. She knew about the apartment, the car, the credit cards, all of it. And she wasn't the type to cry and accept it. Caroline was a partner at a law firm specializing in divorce. She froze Joseph's accounts that morning, called the credit card companies, contacted the Mercedes dealership, had her investigator serve Natalie with a cease and desist letter at the spa. Natalie was escorted out in her bathrobe because the room was no longer paid for. Joseph had disappeared, not answering calls, probably trying to save his marriage and his assets. Natalie had to take a bus home. A bus. She called me crying from the station, begging for a ride, but I was working my second pathetic job. By Thursday, the apartment complex had given her 72 hours to vacate since Joseph's name was on the lease and he terminated it. The Mercedes was repossessed from the parking garage. The credit cards were dead. Everything she'd bragged about for 6 months was gone in 3 days. But here's where it got really interesting. Yesterday, Natalie called me with an emergency. Caroline's divorce lawyer had contacted her. They needed her deposition about the timeline of the affair. Specifically, they wanted to know about last Tuesday afternoon when Joseph had told Caroline he was in a business meeting. Natalie needed an alibi that didn't involve being at a spa with Caroline's husband. She wanted me to tell Caroline's lawyer that she'd been with me all day, that we'd gone shopping and had lunch, that I had receipts to prove it. She actually expected me to lie under oath to protect her from the consequences of her choices. I asked why she thought I'd do that after she'd spent months telling everyone I was pathetic. She said family helps family, that I owed her for the time she'd watched my daughter 5 years ago, that if I was a good person, I'd help her through this difficult situation. She even offered to pay me back when she found another Joseph. That's what she said. Another Joseph. Like married men with money were just waiting to fund her lifestyle. I told her I'd think about it. Then I called Caroline's lawyer myself. Told him I'd be happy to provide an honest statement about Natalie's whereabouts, how she'd been bragging for months about her relationship with Joseph, how she knew he was married from day one, how she'd said Caroline was stupid for not keeping her man happy. The deposition is next week. Natalie doesn't know yet that I'm Caroline's star witness.